Hello everyone, welcome to the third edition of Breakeven Diaries 2021. The Breakeven Diaries is a new initiative by Entrepreneurship Cell of Simsri and an online interview talk show series where our aim lies to understand the mindset of entrepreneurs, their journey, and integrate the entrepreneurship among the youngsters. So, to cater to our vision today, we have Mr. Baljeet Gujral, founder of Enfield Riders, an adventure lifestyle company.
So let's start the session with a small introduction of our speaker. After completing his master's in marketing from the prestigious Oxford University, Sir decided to embark on his journey in the banking world. Having worked with several prominent names, which include ICCI, Axis, and Standard Chartered. However, Sir's passion for traveling and entrepreneurship ultimately ventured him to be the founder of Enfield Riders, where he caters to the need of traveling enthusiasts just like him. Enfield Riders at present renders services which helps motorcycle enthusiasts and destination explorers to explore various exquisite locations by the road medium, also providing different variations of Royal Enfield on rental basis to cater to the same. Apart from traveling, Sir is also a passionate writer and author of the best-selling book Entrepreneurship Essentials, and has recently ventured even deeper into the traveling industry by dealing in SUVs and several other bike modifications. An area most often considered as niche is now a successful business model purely out of one's passion for it. We are hoping to receive some more of it over the course of this discussion. Thanks for being here, sir.
Thank you, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here, and very happy to be a part of this conversation.
So, sir, starting off, can you take us through the 360-degree journey of an engineer who later shifts to marketing, works as an investment consultant, and ends up in traveling and tourism?
Well, to be very honest, most students, when I was in engineering, I didn't had a clue what I wanted to do in life. So you enroll for engineering, and you know that once you've completed your bachelor's, you would probably find a job, look for something relevant in your industry, and start working. However, fortunately for me, as time progressed, when I was in my final year of engineering, I decided to pursue my master's because my inclination was always towards marketing and sales. And I said, why not pick up something which will enhance my foundation and give me a better overlook as to what I would want to look ahead. And that's when I applied to about 5 universities based out of UK, and fortunately got through Oxford Brookes University and did my master's in marketing at Brookes Business School. This was in 2004. As time passed by, once I finished my master's, again, the typical next thing was find a job. Because you have money invested, you have time invested. And that's when I started looking for a role which would, give me an opportunity to stay back in the UK and earn some global experience. As it's always that things are never the way you have planned them, right? So with a bachelor's in technology, with civil engineering, a master's in marketing, I landed with the first job in finance. So I took up that job gladly, and that's when my journey began, working as an investment consultant with Royal Bank of Scotland, London. And I worked briefly for 2 years before I moved back to India.
Okay, that's a very interesting story. So, can you just tell about the challenges you could have faced in this initial days of when you found this Enfield Riders? And what exactly did you do then?
Of course. So after I came back to India, I worked for close to about 5 years in the banking industry, changing hands at ICCI and Standard Chartered. And my last assignment was with the Swiss bank called UBS. I moved from there after about a tenure of about 2.5 years. I was at associate director level. Work was good, money was good. Making the 7-figure salary at the age of 25, 26. Pretty happy with what I was doing. But at the same time, there was some. I mean, like I never felt that being on the workforce side or being in a job was any bad, because if I never had that kind of experience, I wouldn't have brought that experience to my entrepreneurial journey. So it really worked well for me. But uh, that certain bit of being in the comfort zone was bothering me. So everything was set, but I felt that there was much more that I could do. So at the age of 30, I decided to hang my boots and start my entrepreneurial journey. And that's when Enfield Riders was formed. Uh, Answering your question, this was a little background. Answering your question, what were the challenges? Uh, I think typically the challenge begins after you have realized that whatever you have picked up is because of passion, right? So you move into entrepreneurship not because of money, but because you're passionate about something. And after certain months, I realized that apart from the passion, I also needed to look at the finances, right? So passion is the fuel which will help you run the business, but at the same time, you need to look at uh, you know the nitty gritties of the business. And as you employ people, as you get more manpower, build an office, your expenses increase. You need to also look at the balance sheet, right? Fortunately, for me, being because I was a banker, I always knew how to make money. So I knew that the even in the worst scenario, I will ensure that there are no losses, so to say, in hindsight. But of course, the challenge was that once I started over and in the next 6 months to 1 year, as the business picked up, scaling became a challenge. And then from passion, although it's fueling your business, you also need to look at a business plan. So that movement from passion to looking at business from a numbers point of view, that was one first challenge that I encountered when I was building it.
So that seems to be quite inspirational, at the same time quite logical as well. So what were the initial changes you observed in your work-life balance post your entrepreneurship journey? Like after coming from a decade plus of corporate life, what are the changes that you observed?
Uh, so see, every whether you're in a job or you are starting your own business, everything has its pro and con, right? So the flip side is, in your own business there are no timings. So there's no 9 to 5, there is no 5 days or 6 days a week, there are no holidays. You Because you're passionate about solving a problem, creating a product which will give your customers the kind of experience that will make you eventually happy, you're always on the move, right? So uh, I think from a personal experience, uh, the biggest shift between a job and the entrepreneurial side is that you have no time for yourself. The work-life balance that you typically talk about completely takes a toss. And all that keeps you moving and motivated is you are looking at the larger, in the larger scheme of things, a bigger issue to be addressed, a bigger thing to be built. And hence, in the initial years, it is very, very critical that you give in not just your 200%, but also your heart, mind, soul, sweat, everything. Uh, and then as things are built up, you can relax a bit.
Okay. So can you tell about this how this corporate world experience helped you in your startup? Is there any experiences which helped you in your startup as well?
A lot, actually. I feel that uh, the success of my both the companies that I run, Enfield Riders and Bucket List Experience, wouldn't have been possible if I didn't had the corporate experience that I gained for about 7-8 years. It gives you an understanding of the outside world. It gives you a better understanding of product market fit. It gives you a sharper knowledge of what your client needs are. Because from the work side, like I was an investment banker, and my job was to understand client needs and park their finances, which makes money for them in future. And that's a very, very sensitive thing. So understanding your client needs becomes a very, very crucial thing. That is your client conservative? Is he aggressive? Is he has a higher risk taking ability? And accordingly, you park the funds, or do a asset allocation for the investments. The same theory applies when you move into any business. Unless you have understood the pulse of your customer, you will never be able to address the problem and uh, create a value proposition for them. I think in every aspect, whether it was finance, whether it was business, whether it was marketing, sales, my corporate experience helped me a lot to build my business.
That happens to be an interesting way of connecting the dots, actually. So we wanted to know about your second venture, Bucket List, and when did you realize the need for it?
Well, as entrepreneurs, a true entrepreneur will always be a restless soul. That's how I define entrepreneurs. You are constantly in need of creating something. Constantly, you have this urge of solving a problem. So at Enfield Riders, we started in 2012, and 6 years into the company, I felt that to a very certain degree, we had automated processes, automated our services, our verticals, value proposition. We had a very capable team who was handling it by themselves. And I felt the need of solving another problem. And in 2018, we formed another company called Bucket List Experiences, which in a way is advancement of Enfield Riders. So Enfield Riders is purely into adventure travel, and Bucket List Experiences was formed purely for curated travel experiences beyond adventure. So we felt that there was a need in the market in our corporate clients as well as our retail clients, that they wanted experiences which were purely curated, which were unique for them, which were built uh, you know with respect to their requirements, and very end to end served, right from planning to execution. Everything end to end was required, and that's when we felt that why don't we build a company which will address these needs. And that's how Bucket Experiences was formed in 2018. So it's 3 years now.
Okay. So now, since you started in 2018 itself and 2020 COVID pandemic hit the world, so was there impact on your businesses and as well, and what changes did you made because of those?
So of course we had a huge impact. We are from the travel industry. Experiential travel, adventure travel was hugely impacted due to COVID, because borders were closed, people were in their homes. Travel was the last thing that could have been on anybody's mind. So it was a huge impact for our business. Uh, but I believe, as entrepreneurs, we are designed in a way that we always uh, work in a fashion. If we are about to sink, we will swim and try to survive. And as long as you have that zest to survive, you will find out ways. So, closing the business was the last option, or not even an option. And we had to make some huge changes, which means, kind of cutting down our expenses. So we had to close down a few offices. We ensured that no livelihoods were lost. So we kept all our employees on our payrolls. However, we did some iterations in terms of what could be other things which will keep us sailing. And that's when we discovered that for our corporate clients, there was a lot of things which had moved online. So we came up with new products like online employee engagements, online games, online initiatives where people could do team meetings, because the world was moving online, right? And for every business to survive and thrive, they need to adapt to the changes. And so did we. And yeah, fortunately, we have survived and we are still sailing, and much better uh, than what we started during the pandemic. We are yet to be on pre-pandemic levels in terms of business revenues. However, we feel that things are now picking up as movements are happening, borders are opening up, people have started taking travel, especially domestically. So we hope we will be back to pre-pandemic levels by 2022.